Examples of racial imagery and institutionalized racism coming into play in our society are overwhelming. One such example is the Tuskegee study, a clinical study founded by the U.S. government, conducted between 1932 and 1972, where researchers were studying the natural progression of untreated syphilis. Participants were not informed of their disease. Participants never issued consent, and once funding for the study was lost, participants were never informed and never received the care that they had been promised. This study was conducted solely on poor African American males. During the same time as the Tuskegee study, there was a program aimed towards stopping the poor and the mentally ill from reproducing through sterilization. This program disproportionately targeted and sterilized African American women. Another example of racial imagery coming into play followed the attack on Pearl Harbor. President Roosevelt signed an executive order which placed more than 110,000 Japanese Americans in internment camps, fearing they may still be loyal to the Japanese Empire. It was later found that not a single Japanese American had engaged in espionage. Some more recent examples of this include the immigration policies in Arizona, where a police officer can stop and frisk an individual who doesn't look like a citizen. A person can be profiled and stopped for simply being a certain ethnicity, that is, not white. This concept can also be seen in airports, where individuals of Middle Eastern descent and South Asian descent are regularly and routinely profiled and searched. More clearly, the effects of racial imagery can be seen in the criminal justice system, where African American children are 18 times more likely to be sentenced as adults than white children. They also make up 60% of the children in prisons. African Americans and Latinos are stopped by police officers at much higher rates than white people as well. When it comes to drug offenses, African Americans are arrested 2 to 11 times more than the rate of white people. In March of 2010, the U.S. Sentencing Commission reported that African American offenders receive sentences 10% longer than white offenders for the exact same crime. Social institutions blatantly treating a group of people poorly can be clearly seen in each of these examples, for no other reason besides their race, their non-white identity. The idea and privilege of whiteness being the norm can be seen all over our country in the media, in legislation, and in stereotypes held by the people of this country. It is undeniable that the concept of whiteness not being addressed plays a large role in the institutionalized racism that we see every day. I do believe that whiteness needs to be made strange. I believe that Richard Dyer was working to explain the dominance that white people hold and have held for decades. Because it is white people who create the dominant images of this world, we construct this world in our own image. It was in Dyer's last paragraph that he said, "White people set standards of humanity by which they are bound to succeed and others are bound to fail." And I couldn't agree with him more.